Football has been involved in a good number of scandals. After all, it is a lucrative and widely watched activity, thus controversy-seeking sports are bound to have their share. Even while there are football players who are morally admirable and serve as role models for others off the field, many of them engage in inappropriate behavior. Here are a few players who were caught cheating. Number 1 is Lionel Messi. Despite never having won a World Cup, Messi is one of the most well-known soccer players in the world. In 2013, he was first accused of tax cheating. In particular, Spanish tax officials claimed at the time that Messi's father evaded taxes on royalties and licensing money by using a number of shell companies in tax havens. Since Messi signed with FC Barcelona in 2001, authorities have claimed that money from lucrative contracts with companies like Pepsi-Cola, Procter & Gamble, and Adidas was channeled offshore through a complex web of entities to avoid paying income tax in Spain. Throughout the trial, Messi insisted on his innocence. Nevertheless, he moved to settle his tax burden soon after the accusations were made public, paying a corrective payment of 5 million euros. Spanish tax authorities mandated the footballer player's trial in 2015. Messi stated in his trial testimony, "I was playing football. I knew nothing at all about anything." Additionally, Messi admitted to the court that he didn't actively manage his finances. Messi appealed his case to the Spanish Supreme Court last year, however, the court dismissed the appeal, upholding Messi's sentence for tax fraud. Thus, his first penalty is still in effect. Number 2 is Neymar. Another person convicted of tax fraud is Neymar da Silva Santos Jr., popularly known as Neymar, for not declaring his income. Neymar's situation is a little more intricate though. This is what it entailed in essence. While Neymar was playing for another team, FC Barcelona courted him. The team was accused of misleading Neymar's previous team and the public about the contract's value. The accused beneficiary of the discrepancy between the contract price and the amount paid was a Brazilian business under the management of Neymar's father. Prosecutors in Spain claimed that the payments were made in secret to evade taxes and reporting obligations. A Spanish court determined in 2015 that there was sufficient proof to proceed with a trial over the transfer-related charges. FC Barcelona club president Josep Bartomeu and previous club president Alexandre Sandro Rosell, who left in 2014 due to the scandal but faced additional legal issues afterward, were among those expected to face charges. FC Barcelona ultimately settled the issue by paying associated taxes and penalties for what it referred to as an error in tax planning. Value-added tax was applicable to the transaction. The tax authorities raised doubts about the accuracy of the tax payment. After threatening to leave Spain due to tax problems, Neymar signed a contract with Paris Saint-Germain in April 2017 with an estimated net worth of $90 million. Neymar is rated 5 on Forbes' list of the world's highest-paid athletes and 71 on Forbes' list of the world's highest-paid celebrities. Number 3 is Javier Mascherano. Another player from FC Barcelona was added to the list of people charged with tax fraud in 2015. During a hearing that lasted just longer than 10 minutes, Javier Mascherano acknowledged that he neglected to pay income taxes for 2011 and 2012. Similar to Messi, Mascherano has tax issues related to transferring image rights to businesses based in tax havens. Mascherano did not acknowledge any wrongdoing prior to the plea, although he did pay 200,000 euros in interest and 1.5 million euros in taxes to settle an outstanding tax debt. Mascherano was sentenced to 12 months in prison after entering a guilty plea. He was also fined 815,000 euros. Since people in Spain who receive mild penalties typically do not serve time in prison, the prison term is essentially ceremonial. Number 4 is Diego Costa. Despite being hailed as a hero in Spain, Diego Costa has not had a good year in terms of taxes. There are reports that he is being investigated for unpaid taxes related to a profitable transaction involving soccer cleats. El Mundo claims that Costa and Adidas inked a deal worth roughly 800,000 euros. At least half of that money, according to the Spanish tax authorities, was not reported as income for taxation purposes, but the timing makes things more difficult. The Brazilian-born Costa allegedly signed the contract before he committed to play for Chelsea, but while he was still a resident of Spain, according to Spanish tax authorities. Costa, on the other hand, claims that he was not required to pay taxes in Spain because at that time he was a British resident for tax purposes. In order to protect his image rights, Costa established an offshore entity just like many other soccer stars accused of tax fraud. He hasn't been charged with utilizing the offshore structure for tax purposes though. Number 5 is Radamel Falcao. While Radamel Falcao's odds on the field might be better, his prospects in a Spanish courtroom were not. Falcao was found guilty of tax fraud in 2018. He had been accused of using, you guessed it, a number of offshore shell companies to conceal revenue from image rights in order to defraud the tax authorities of €822,609 in 2012 and €4,839,253 in 2013. The technique was developed with the sole aim of hiding from the Spanish taxman, according to accusations made by Spanish tax authorities. Radamel Falcao may have had greater chances on the field, but his chances in a Spanish courtroom were not. 2018 saw Falcao convicted guilty of tax fraud. He'd been accused of defrauding the tax authorities out of approximately €800,000 in 2012 and approximately €5 million in 2013, using, you guessed it, a variety of offshore shell companies to hide money from image rights. Spanish tax officials have accused the approach of being devised with the sole aim of hiding from the Spanish taxman. Number 6 is James Rodriguez. What do Ronaldo, Falcao, and Luis have in common with James Rodriguez? George Mensch of Gestefoot International, his agency. Mensch has been called to testify in tax trials involving Falcao and Ronaldo in court. In prior testimony, he claimed to have never advised players in tax matters. Furthermore, he has refuted any involvement in setting up front firms for his customers. Rodriguez has not been formally accused of any wrongdoing, but he has been informed that he is likely the subject of an inquiry, according to a number of sources, including Der Spiegel. A likely subject of investigation, the foreign business that oversees his copyright. According to Forbes, Rodriguez is ranked 89 on the list of highest paid celebrities in the world and 91 on the list of highest paid athletes in the world. Number 7 is Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo scored a hat-trick in his debut World Cup match. Ronaldo, one of the most known players in contemporary soccer, was charged with evading paying €14.7 million in taxes by using a number of offshore entities to channel income connected to image rights. That is, his resemblance, which is exactly what Ronaldo makes money from. Ronaldo plays for rival Real Madrid, thus some players theorized that there was a plot to target FC Barcelona players because he had seemed immune to the tax claims that have affected other well-known soccer players. However, there were concerns about Ronaldo after it was alleged in the so-called Football Leaks, a soccer-specific version of the Panama Papers, that he had underreported his income. The claims have been constantly refuted by Ronaldo's management group, Gestefoot, who even went so far as to publish a statement on their website claiming that the player has never been involved in any conflict with the tax authorities of any country. The business added, "To sum up, it is evident that the football player did not attempt to avoid paying taxes, even though the declared amount can be disputed." Nonetheless, it is said that Ronaldo struck a settlement with the Spanish tax authorities. He will pay €18.8 million in taxes, penalties, and interest as a part of the agreement. Ronaldo consented to enter a guilty plea to 4 charges of tax fraud as part of the agreement. He is regarded as one of the world's most well-liked athletes. What are your thoughts on these players who were caught cheating? Do you think there is more to it than what is visible? Do share your opinions on this in the comments section. For more interesting stories and updates, subscribe to our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Goodbye.